Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started because we try to be as prompt as possible and respectful of people's time. We are going to be celebrating hip hop today at York College. And I want to acknowledge my fantastic foundation board member, Don Kelly, for being one of and the most aggressive brainchilds of this project and being my partner in all of this work. I want to acknowledge Dolly Martinez from the Chancellor's Office. Thank you. And I also want you to know that during the day, people are going to be moving in and out of this space, honoring what we think is the most important commitment we have to the community, to hip hop, and to York. So please enjoy your day. If there's a question, don't forget to ask it. If you want to know something about York or about what we're doing, please let us know. Let me emphasize that we are an anchor institution in Jamaica, Queens, and we need all of our students to come back. If you know a college student who is eligible to enroll at York College or has been here, get them here. COVID is not going to knock us out. And I need you all's help. I'm going to ask you very, very aggressively to ask the students to come here to the Welcome Center at the front of our campus and ask what they need to do to be back in school at York College, in person or online. It doesn't matter, but enrolled, right? We want York to be healthy and vibrant, and the only way it happens is students. And we need 2,000 more students at York College. So I'm going to challenge you all today to go out and talk to all your friends about York and make it clear that this public higher education is affordable, accessible, and necessary at all times, right? So we're going to have a great day. You hear me? Today is going to be a celebration of what we all do. We are committed to public higher education. We are committed to CUNY, and we are committed to York. So thank you for being here. Pat.
The wonderful and phenomenal Dr. Eanes. Give it up for Dr. Eanes, everybody. Are we excited today? All right, it's a beautiful day. We're celebrating hip hop and we're in Queens with some phenomenal. First of all, I just want to say thank you for answering the call. Thank you, because I have to be honest, 2 of the 3 young ladies did not know me. So I took a chance out by reaching out and just saying, you know, this is happening, and they answered the call. So I'm sincerely grateful for that. So let's get to it because I want to dive into it. So my name is Pat Robinson. I stand here in the capacity of several roles. I serve as an executive for Greater Jamaica Development Corporation, an amazing community development organization. But the real reason why I'm here is because I got some roots in hip hop. I spent about 21 years working for some legacy stations, Hot 97, Kiss FM, CD 101.9, WRXP. And I did that for 21 years behind the scenes. And I learned about music. I learned the business of music, and I learned how to navigate relationships and make that work for me. And I learned how to keep my internal swag high. I mean, because we got to keep our internal swag high. But what's important today is that we're talking about the impact that women have in hip hop. And the impact is that we are creators, we are curators, and the importance of the legacy is being driven by women like these today. So I'm going to give you a brief bio on who sits before you, and then we're going to dive right into it. So starting from the right, Amber Corrine, a New Jersey born, bred, multifaceted, creative and staff news writer for the iconic Vibe magazine. Her dreams began freelancing for notable media outlets like Hip Hop since 1987, The Griot, and more. She has had the opportunity to cover major cultural events like South by Southwest, Rolling Loud, Something in the Water, Broccoli City, Summer Jam, and many more. She's covered the Oscars, the NAACP Image Awards, the BET Hip Hop Awards, MTV, VMA, Soul Trains, and more. Can we just give it up for that? Come on now, give it up for that. She's highlighted interviews with some of the most high-profile people: Ashanti, Roxanne Shante, Timbaland, 50 Cent, and the list goes on. So welcome to the stage, Amber. Next, I'm jumping into a Detroit, Michigan native. A friend of mine, Jazzy Bell, began her career as a glamour model and was featured in the A-list entertainment magazines throughout the world with an exclamation mark. Throughout the world, this woman has been doing it. She spent a lot of time at Sirius XM after 4 years at the very popular hip hop station, which reached millions of listeners daily. She felt compelled to create a platform that focused on many talents and influences that women had. Hence was born Women in Hip Hop podcast. And that podcast mission is to inspire women everywhere to overcome obstacles and adversities faced in the workplace due to gender, especially in a male dominated field. She's had the pleasure in interviewing some of the best in the business, from Ice Cube, Yo-Yo, multi-platinum R&B superstar Faith Evans, but queen of all media, Wendy Williams. But what caught my attention the most is when I looked at her Instagram page and saw her sitting in the middle of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I said, "All hail the queen." I said, "All hail the queen." So welcome to the stage, Jazzy. And Nye, and don't you dare say that $sign, and you better follow that right Instagram. Nye is a native from Queens. She's a rapper. She's a performer, musician, producer, choreographer, and actress. She has musically worked with super producers Timbaland and Rockweiler. She starred in Oxygen Network's hit reality Sisterhood of Hip Hop seasons 1 and 2. She has music collaborations with multiple artists from Jim Jones, Mano, K-Camp. She wrote the theme music for Juicy Couture's Oi Fragrance commercial. She's performed at New York Hot 97 Summer Jam, SOBs, Roxy LA. She has recently rebranded herself and strictly goes by the performer name of Nye. But her mission is, and I love this, I highlighted this. She said, "My mission is to make lemonade from the lemons and iced tea from the tea." And I promise you, we need some iced tea and lemonade on a day like today. So welcome to the stage, guys. Let's give it up for these ladies. So I want to jump into it because we are celebrating 50 years of hip hop, and I want to ask each of you, how important do you think your contribution is to the culture? So let's start with you, Nye.
Hello. For me, starting out, I've always kind of been, and maybe to others, hard-headed, but I stood strong on my stance of like, as a hip hop artist, I never wanted to get recognition or by like having to bend over, but like, I stood strong on that, and I wanted to be known for my lyrics, for my talent. And I think women coming in knowing that they still have that option is important. A lot of people feel like this is our only shot and we have to do what we have to do to get there, but we do have millions of options right now of what you can do and build yourself. So I think just encouraging just for other artists to see that you can do it the way that you want to do it, and you do not have to fold and be pushed or pressured to do something you don't want to do to get the success you want to have.
Wonderful. What about you, Jazzy?
As far as what's my contribution?
Yeah, like how important is your contribution as a woman in this industry?
Oh, yeah. First of all, hi, everybody. Thank you guys for having me. My contribution is crucial. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Like Pat said earlier, I created a podcast called Women in Hip Hop. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but the reason why I feel my contribution is crucial is because I want to just put the magnifying glass on the many talents that we all exhibit. And I feel like in a male-dominated industry, our voices aren't heard enough. So when I created this platform, it was important for me to not only give these women a voice that has the mic, like Nye, but women behind the scenes as well, from directors, dancers, executives. Pat, she was on my podcast before. So when you hear these women's stories, you know that you can be inspired to dream big and do it as well. So representation is important. So that's why I feel like my contribution is big.
Wonderful. I'm going to ask you to pass that mic. And Amber, same for you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. First of all, I just want to say, let's give it up for 50 years of hip hop. Like, that's amazing. Absolutely. So just being a woman in this industry, I understand that my voice is very crucial, like you said. As part of media, what we say can really shift the culture. You know what I'm saying? And people will believe what you say sometimes. So for me, I think back to where we've come 50 years, and I'm only 30, right? So hip hop is older than me. So I just think about like, what do I want to contribute to this for the next 50 years? What can I do in this industry that will stand out and be impactful and have people talking about it 50 years from now? That's what's important to me. And like you said, just having visibility and showing other girls who look like me from where I'm from that they can do it too. I work for one of the most legendary hip hop outlet. So just for me making it there and not having, a famous cousin or somebody who just, I worked hard to get where I'm at, and I just want to continue to contribute to that and just show how I can make my mark on this industry.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So, let's get into some real talk. So, this is as we say, a male-dominated industry, but we're making a lot of strides there. But do you think that women support each other enough? Are we holding each other accountable to each other, and are we offering the kind of support that we should? And anybody can jump in and start that.
We could do more. We could definitely do
Okay.
better. But I think that's why it's important to have panels like this.
Yep.
To have women like this in the industry, to have women like you, Pat, in the industry, is because we need to lift each other up more. We always have this negative stigma as women for being catty.
Mhm.
I don't subscribe to that mentality. So creating a platform, again, like Women in Hip Hop, it was important for me to denounce that mentality. So although it does happen, because I definitely been shaded by my sister girls,
Mhm.
but the narrative that I like to put out, I had a lot of women uplift me as well. But I think what needs to happen is it needs to happen more. We need to create platforms like this where women need to tell their stories. And the women that are in the position of power, I really encourage you all to really do the work and lift each other up, because one thing we know about hip hop, yes, it's male dominated, but we living in a Me Too era. It's always been there, but that Me Too era was never something that was representative of us, Black women. Although it started by a Black woman, but it didn't really get prominent until white women in Hollywood made noise about it. You know what I mean? So for us to be in a position of power, I really, really implore you guys to really lift each other up. Give that woman that job, refer her if she's worthy of it and deserving of it. She has the talent, hook her up. You're not even hooking her up, just give her the damn job. Because she's deserving of it. Don't make it harder for her, because the men are doing that enough. So we don't need that from our sisters.
Wonderful.
Yeah. For me, I've always been a huge advocate of other women. I feel like I get flack for people saying this ain't no joy to the world, girls holding hands, especially in rap, it's competitive. You got to get out there. You might have to take somebody's spot. You might have to curse somebody out or talk about their mother to get, it's a catty environment. But I've always just been supportive of women. And there's been situations where I feel like I know if the shoe was on the other foot, she might not shout me out. She might not support me, but I get so excited when I see other women spitting, having shows of their own. I just want to be a part of that. So I'm not from the catty side of the hip hop, but I still support all women. Even if you don't like me, I'm gonna still shout you out. If you a dope rapper, I'm gonna always shout you out. And I hope that can spread more through hip hop. I always see a lot of women fueled beefs, and sometimes you just want to say like, stop that, like that's ridiculous. You kind of messing up opportunities for us to be better in the future, just trying to get what you can get now. So I pray on it. And I always advocate. I try to create opportunities, ciphers, mentoring younger women who are artists and showing them a way that they can get on without having to be competitive or catty. And I hope it continues to grow in that place.
Wonderful.
Same for me. I agree with everything that you both said. It's super important to lift the next woman up. A lot of times you do get flack, for it could be the way you look. Another woman just will like you for that instead of paying attention to your talents and what you bring to the table. I think the more visibility that we have, you show the next person that they can do it too. We just need more. This panel is great. Other programs are great. We just need more. That's it.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. We're not all the way there yet, but we're getting there.
Thank you for sharing that. So let's dive in and let's talk about pay equity. Are women being compensated fairly in this industry?
I would say, I don't know everybody's salary and whatnot, but we definitely do have a ways to go. I know I was reading a survey about just women in media and music, and the percentage of women on, is still much lower than men. So I feel like we're getting there, but it's not linear yet. That's why we need more visibility. We need more women in these top spots who can bring up the next woman. You know what I'm saying? But we're not all the way there, but hopefully one day, we will. That's what I can say.
I think from an artist standpoint, there are a lot of women who are getting a very big bag right now, and so especially the emergence of all these women rappers, and they're successful. They have the hottest songs are right now. So a lot of women actually, I feel like they might be getting more money than the guys right now, but in terms of like streaming and things like that, it's not really, based on gender. Everybody's going to get the same amount. So I can't really speak to that, but I know that the ladies are out there getting the bag, and I hope it continues to stay that way.
I think you both made great points. I'll start with Nia. The fact that you coming from that perspective as an artist, we do see that. Like you said, this new resurgence of female rap. The ladies are winning. Shout out to the ladies winning. But behind the scenes, like you said, we don't know how much they are winning. I don't know if they get into the bag. It looks pretty, it looks shiny. But to your point again, and for what I said earlier, the women that are in executive positions need to make sure that the sisters are getting the right bag that they deserve. Right. And I'm hoping that's the case. Now, coming from my perspective as a media personality, TV and radio personality, when you think of women in radio, we're usually the sidekick. We're never the one with the big voice. We're never the star of the show. They usually have us there. Not me. They usually know. They usually put us in a position to be somewhat of a show pony, and I can only imagine what the other women are going through. I know what I had to endure, and I didn't feel that the equality was there, or sometimes that the respect was there. So again, create, don't wait. That's the motto that I live by. Create your own platform, create your own dream job. Don't wait for nobody to put you in a position to win, to get that bag. A lot of my success came from creating my dream job and companies reaching out to me and say, we want to have you on board. Now I'm in a position to dictate how big I want my bag to be. So again, create, don't wait. That's the motto.
And that's important. And thank you for sharing that, Jim. So let's talk about, because sometimes people see the outcome, the end result of what it looks like, and they glamorize it. Our lights just went off. They glamorize it. But, there's not just this glamorization of where you are. There's a lot of work that goes into getting to where you are. Most times what people don't know is that you're doing multiple things, your own social media, you're creating graphics, you're doing this. So talk to us about the disciplines and the hard work that goes into getting to the places that you are.
You know what? I'll say this, especially me being like a journalist, right? I'm at a lot of events. People see pictures of me with this celebrity, that celebrity, and it looks like it's all fun and games. That's the fruit of the labor. Like, people don't get to see when I'm up late night writing an article, I'm sending out emails trying to, just get some feedback, and it takes forever. There's hard work that goes into this. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have like a good support team around you to just help you through that, I just hope that you find one. I can say where I'm at Vibe, I have some great mentors there. I have great editors, people who just make sure, that I'm straight. So like that's pretty much for me. I think people just don't get to see that part of the hard labor. And just know, like, if you do want to be in this industry, it's not all fun and games. It's a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of work.
Absolutely, it's a lot of work. Absolutely. Y'all definitely don't see it all at all, right, Amber? I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I edit, I produce my own show. I was the camera person when I first started. If I could just tell y'all a quick story about Shade 45. When I wanted to become a media personality and making that transition from modeling into being a personality, I went to Public Access, M&N, Manhattan Neighborhood Network. If y'all not into it, check it out. They also have one in Queens as well. And I studied. I figured out how to work a camera. I figured out how to edit. I figured out how to produce my own show. And once I passed that class, they threw me out in the field and said, make it happen. And I had to figure out how to make it happen. So I did reach out, rest in peace to DJ K. Slay, who was my co-host at the time. And I said, let me capitalize on your guests. I'm a one-woman show. And he said, you know what, you come up here every week, do your thing, but I'm not begging my guests to talk to you. So I was in the hallway for 2 years at Sirius XM Shade 45 with the camera, setting it up, hitting record, running around in front of the camera with the mic, asking people like Fabulous, Jim Jones, Nelly, hey, can I interview you for my platform? That's putting in the work. I did that for 2 years, no pay. And from doing that to now being signed to Revolt TV with my podcast, Women in Hip Hop,
That's what's up.
Just know you have to put in the work. And that's why I put a lot of emphasis on create, don't wait, because these corporations may not keep you forever. They're not going to keep you forever. So when they fire you or let you go or replace you or however you want to word it, you have to know that your own creation, your own platform is always there for you. So yeah, create, don't wait. And it really is a lot of work, y'all. It still is a lot of work. I still edit my own videos. So just because I'm with Revolt, the grind don't stop. So continue to work hard, please.
Awesome. Yes.
From my perspective, I guess I learned different ways of how much work has to be put in from originally starting out. I started out as an assistant. I started out as a background dancer, actually. And I went on tour. I danced for Little Mama. And then I transitioned to an assistant for a rapper, Joel Santana. And that level was kind of me putting my work in, just like, you got to pay your dues. And from there, I became my own artist. But before I got a manager, I had to shoot my own videos, rap to anybody who would listen, even if I was scared. So, those type of sacrifices, you got to sacrifice being scared and get out there if you want to get somewhere. From there, you get your manager, you got to wake up every morning, you got to do what they say. You have to not agree with them, but you may not agree with the ideas that they have for you. And then you may have to sacrifice some of what you want to do to work with somebody else to have success. And that was a huge part of my career, sacrificing what I wanted in order to get to where I wanted to go. Now, in this part of my life, I'm a mom. I have 2 sons. And that's another dose of work that goes into before me dressing up to be this person. So I have to drop kids off to school and daycare, then go get makeup, put on my outfit, run. It's a lot of extra work that goes into before I can actually do my work, being inspired to write the music, finding the beats, the time, the quiet. I've added on a lot of work to my plate by having children, but a lot of work goes into still doing it. Sometimes I want to quit. I'm like, I'm tired of dealing with this. This is stressful. I'm not making the amount of money I want to make, or, but somehow I've put in too much work to quit. So I'm like, I'm not stopping until I get what I want to get. So
there you go. And thank you for sharing that and keeping on that theme of not wanting to quit, right? There are times in everybody's career, especially this music industry is sweet, but when it's not sweet, it's not sweet. It's very, very different. So when you're thinking about times when things ain't going the way they should be going and you're doing everything correctly, you're putting in the work, you are showing up, you are doing it, but nothing is flinting for you. How do you keep yourself motivated?
For me, it's been plenty of times when maybe I had an interview that I didn't think was so great, right? And then you go home and you're like, wow, like this is my first one that's just like, it made me see that, hey, it's not always going to be great, And I had those moments where I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this, but I think just staying aligned with my purpose and just remembering like why I got into this, because I want to tell stories. I want to help people convey their stories. Hip hop, I know it sounds cliche, but it saved my life. I'm doing what I want to do 100% because of hip hop. I used to be a teacher for plenty of years. Wow. I was teaching in the morning and then I'll do my media stuff after that and going to school. So it was a lot. And at times I just didn't want to do it. But I think when you start seeing, like I said, the fruits of your labor, you start seeing how people react to your content. You start seeing how you make people feel when you tell their stories. It reminds you that, hey, I'm here for a purpose and I was put in this position to help other people, to bring other people up. So for me, it's always about just going back to my purpose and why am I doing this? That's what keeps me here.
Yeah, Jazzy said God, and that's literally what keeps me going. And also just knowing that if I ever stop, I couldn't live with the regret of of knowing what I know I can accomplish, and just kind of like giving up from like a silly moment or an emotional moment, something that got me mad, and just kind of, go to sleep, pray on it, wake up and start again the next day and really push through. And I want my kids to know that I completed my dreams and I didn't, let them go. So I don't want them to look back like, oh, did it used to do that? I want them to be like, oh, you're still doing this. You're still known for doing this. So that's my huge push to stop me from feeling that way.
Definitely my faith in God. My family keeps me going, especially my mom. She was my biggest supporter. She's no longer here with me. So I feel like even in the afterlife, she's still my why. She's still my reason. She wanted me to live a life of if anything that I wanted to do, I mean, she was a mom, my mom's mom, like 10 kids between her and my dad only. I always like to shout them out. and but she instilled in me that don't be like her necessarily. Like the world is bigger than that. Like go out, travel the world. All I know is Detroit. Yes, I love y'all and y'all daddy, but I wish I was, I wish I traveled the world. I wish I was in California. I wish I did these things. So for me, she was my biggest inspiration. And like you guys said, what's the other alternative? To give up, to quit? That's
right.
whack. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you said, you're going to regret that. I think all you have to do is just pour into your work, know that you're doing your best, knowing that quitting is not an option.
Right.
And yeah, it really does motivate me. My people's God and the intuition that he put into me to keep going. So I feel like I have this innate feeling to never give up.
Thank you for sharing that. And so, as I said, if you have not worked in the music industry, it is a very broad and it's a big business, and it's business of business, and it will take you through. So, with that being said, I know each of you have been in spaces where you've been around male-dominated meetings. You may show up. How do you get people to look beyond your beauty and take you serious for your skills and your craft?
Make sure you are equipped with skills and craft.
All
Make
right.
sure you know what the hell you're talking about and what you're doing. Because here's the thing. I know I'm cute. We all cute. We walking in, and here's the thing. That may get us through the door. I'm sure my beauty got me through the door. But what's going to keep you in that door is your intellect, your talent, and your work ethic. And nobody can deny that about me. Y'all can say what y'all want. I put in the work. So, just I don't know if I answer your question, but yes. And so when I'm am in those rooms that's male dominated, especially as doing interviews like we do, I definitely have men focus on other things where he needs to be focusing on this. But again, what will deter that attention from here is the talent, is the work. You did the due diligence, and now they have to respect you. So you have to demand it first. You have to be equipped with the talent, and you just have to put your foot down and demand it. So the disrespect is going. I definitely endured it, but you have to know. Unfortunately, that's what comes with that. But again, all these women executives, all these women that are in position of power, because we see the influx of female rappers, but I'm also seeing the women behind the scenes that are killing it as well. And I need y'all to protect us and protect each other and make sure they don't have to go through what you went through.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You said it the best. Like you really did. But for me, it's just, like you said, letting my work speak for me. Like you said, like my looks may get me through the door, but what's going to keep me there? What's going to make you want to hear what I have to say? What's going to make this conversation keep going besides you just looking at me? So when I do like my interviews and whatnot, like I stay professional. When I'm at work, I look crazy. Sometimes I don't come to work looking cute all the time. Like, I'm there to work. So for me, it's just like leading with what I'm bringing to the table, my knowledge, my intellect. I'm not, and not just saying like you have to have a degree to be smart, but I went to school. I have my master's. I have this and that. So it's nothing that you can tell me that, that I'm not worthy, that I'm not valuable, that I'm not smart. I know I am. So with me being in this room, it's not about what I look like, but what do I bring to the table? What intellect do I have? I'm a command the room. I'm not going to just let you treat me how you want to treat me. I don't care, male, female, whatever. I'm leading with, what I bring to the table.
Awesome.
Yes. In those spaces too, in those male dominated, I always wish I could flirt. I can't even flirt. I'm always like, oh my God, like it might be a fear, like, oh, I'm going into a room full of guys. What am I gonna do? They're kind of staring at your body and grabbing your hand. What's up, ma? And I'm like, I'm here to seriously work. Like I did not come here to date anybody. I don't want to look in your eyes. I'm not looking for a man. And just pushing through those moments with my talent, kind of cutting to the chase. Look, why are we here? Is the mic ready? I don't have nothing else to say to you other than that. Like I got my lyrics. If it's for a feature, I don't want to canoodle on the couch and giggle and make and sometimes I feel like not having that energy, that flirty energy might stop my opportunity. Or, it's still happening to women who, if you do not give in, the opportunity is cut, your contract is cut. We found somebody else to do the job. So it's a sticky situation. on how you feel you might, move forward or not. But I stick to my guns and know that if I have to do that, then it ain't for me. And I'm gonna go where, where it's for me at. So it's, and in the situations where no one's like harassed me, they have been super situations. I've worked with Timberland. I haven't experienced any of that treatment. So in the huge situations, it's been like complimentary for me to make me feel comfortable and be able to do my work and not feel like, I'm in a tough corner. What do I do if I don't give in? Do I give up this opportunity? That's a super hard place to be in, but luckily I have not been in that place.
That's awesome. So let's talk about some wins. Like, share with me in your spaces, what has been the biggest win?
For me, a huge win, just as the manifester, was being on a TV show. I feel like I stood in front of the TV as a kid and I watched like Aaliyah and wanted to background dance for her. And, so I love entertainment, whether it's music, whether it's media. Being able to find myself on a TV show and watching the previews and watching the seasons of myself was so surreal. It's still surreal to me today. I might not have been able to take it in when it actually happened, because it was such a, just like, is that me? Did I really do that? But then it's like, it's me. I did do that. It's what I wanted to do. So as I continue to go through my career, those things continue to happen for me. I'm writing commercials for video games. I'm jingles for commercials and video games.
That's big.
I'm hearing myself on the TV, my voice. My kids are able to see my videos on TV. So it's still working. There's still more that I want to be on like huge stage and, have my music go to the levels I wanted to go to. But TV was definitely a special moment for me.
Awesome.
For me, I think just being able to live my dreams every day has been a win. And I say that because when I was teaching, right, when I would go on break, like when my students, because I used to do preschool, when my students would be sleeping, I'm at my desk trying to do media stuff on my phone. And I used to always be like, you know what, after the summer, I'm not teaching again. Like, I'm not going to be a teacher no more. And not that I didn't love it. I did. But I knew that music and media was always my passion. So when I got that offer, from Vibe to come there full time, and I had to let them know, like, I'm leaving, it was bittersweet, but I was like, this is my chance to really live out my dreams. So even when I get to talk to, celebrities, whatever, I get to write articles, go places, that's great. But just being able to wake up and go to New York and be in the office, and I'm like, I'm really here at Vibe every day. So that's been like the biggest win for me, just living out my dreams every day. That's what I've seen.
So for sure. Biggest win, one, was never giving up thus far. Never giving up. Well, I'm never going to give up, but never giving up is a big win. But for me, being able to create something that people gravitated to, I could say create, don't wait all day long. I'm going to drill that in y'all brain. But it's definitely, for sure, put up the t-shirt, right? Definitely being able to bring your thoughts into fruition, because that's super hard to have an idea and to be able to bring it to life. So to have an idea in the midst of working at Shade 45 and interviewing all of these prominent artists and saying, I want to venture off and do my own thing and start a podcast before it even was called a podcast. And knowing that I wanted to focus on women within the culture. And this was before Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. It was like just Nicki Minaj for the most part. So it wasn't like I hopped on this gravy train, so to speak. So to see, again, this influx of female rappers, and now, yes, people are definitely recognizing more my platform, but I was ahead of the curve, and being able to do that, work hard with doing that for 5 years, and then having a company like Revolt TV recognize that and say, yes, come on board. We want to be able to have you on our platform. As of recent, that has been one of my biggest accomplishments. And yes, I used to work at Vibe as well. Shout out to Vibe. And being able to work there and doing red carpets. And I just told y'all my mom passed away. So I went through a downward spiral of depression. Vibe played a crucial part in bringing me out of that. Because I always say one thing about me: if I'm not creating, I'm dead. Like, I need to work because I love what I do. So to be able to get my butt off the floor and continue to persevere and beat the odds and beat depression and say, you know what, I'm going to just work and continue my faith in God and saying I'm going to be okay. So for me, That was my biggest win. So being able to interview, like you said earlier, Pat, the Will Smiths, the Oprah, the Martin Lawrence of the world, being a Vibe red carpet correspondent, that was a huge win for me. And I'm still forever grateful for Vibe magazine, Vibe.com, and Daytwan Thomas, the editor in chief over there, for that opportunity. But it started with me. It started with me not giving up. So that's my biggest win.
Awesome. Awesome. So, one of the things that is important in all of your lines of work is obviously you have to be visible. And social media is a major component. But I also believe in this thing called the cocoon effect, where it's just sometimes you just don't want to do nothing. You don't want to be seen. You just want to sit back. But in your line of work, you don't have the opportunity to sit back for too long. So talk to the audience about how you balance that when you get in those spaces. And for you, Amber, that may be when you are not inspired to write.
So your question is about social media.
Yep.
It's hard because like you said, we have to kind of, if you want to push your work and you want people to, see your content, this is the world we live in now, social media. Like you have to have your stuff out there for people to see it. But as a journalist, you also got to have thick skin. I'll say that. I've had interviews that's gone viral and you get backlash. And if you're not a person who is prepared for that type of lifestyle, it's going to make it very difficult. And you're not going to want to ever post again on social media. But then, if I don't, then I'm kind of, behind the competition, or I'm not letting the world see what I can do. So sometimes I do have to kind of detach. But then it's kind of hard. It's like, how can I put it? It's hard because, if you don't post, you're not getting your content out there. But then if you don't take some time for yourself, you're going crazy. So it's been a struggle, but I try to detach as much as I can. But I know with my line of work, I have to be visible. Like people have to see what I'm doing. If I want my content to spread the way that it should. So it's kind of hard. I'm still figuring it out. I'll put it that way.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
So in reference to social media,
Okay.
it's important to be visible in your line of work, but also people deal with this cocoon effect. Sometimes you just want to withdraw and not be visible, but you can't. So how do you balance those two?
Still trying to figure it out, like Amber said. Yeah. Work-life balance is hard. Even for people that I've interviewed and I asked that question, people like Taraji P. Henson, because she's big on mental health. So even for a person with her status, it's hard for her to this day. But again, I think you have to put yourself first. It's so hard, like you said, on social media, because everybody is like, if you ain't posted, that mean it ain't happened. Yeah, your next move got to be your best move, So this industry puts the pressure on you to be great all the time. And it's draining for sure. But I kind of dislike social media. I wish we could get it. I love the days before social media. But since we are here, use social media to your best ability. Don't let social media use you, because social media will drain you. It will put the pressure on you to post something every day. And next thing you know, you just selling yourself for the highest bidder. Like, well, let me put this out for the likes. So let me pose like this. So let me bend over in this. It's just, you have to honestly focus on you first and focus on the integrity of your work. And if nothing's not necessarily thriving for you right now, it doesn't mean you're losing. Don't let social media think you're losing, because you don't have to post everything. Do the work behind the scenes. Enjoy the journey. I interviewed a lady, shout out to Big Les. I don't know if y'all know her, dancer, choreographer extraordinaire. The opening credits of Living Single. I feel like everybody know her from that. With the body yaddy. And she talked about the pressure to having to always be great. And I said, don't you know you are enough? Social media doesn't need to tell you you are enough and that you're great. That woman has done so much for hip hop culture, for the dance community, and she still feels like it's so much more for her to do. And yes, I want you to do more, but you have to sit in your accomplishments, sit in your greatness, enjoy the journey. And if it's a slow motion right now, slow motion is better than no motion. And you have to take a break sometime just to enjoy yourself and take care of yourself. So don't worry about social media. That ain't going nowhere. It's going to be here when we long and gone. So revisit when it's time, but take care of yourself and post when you're ready, child.
As an artist, social media, if you don't have a record label, it's like your record label. It's your visibility. It's how people know you're releasing music. And it can be hard to take a break from it because, like you said, you get lost. If you're not out there promoting your product on social media, you're lost. The next person is up, you scroll down, you're gone. And it definitely puts a lot of pressure on wanting to take that break. You don't want to get caught in algorithms. There's so much new things that are set up on Instagram now. You feel like I got to make a reel, I got to go viral, I got to make a sound, it's so much stuff. Myself, I'm going crazy just thinking about it. I want to delete my Instagram right now. I'm in the process of transitioning Instagram. I have an Instagram from the beginning of Instagram, and I feel like it's kind of caught in this like algorithm cycle where it doesn't work, right? And that could yourself, you're promoting your product, you have all these followers, and it's not reaching them. Nobody's liking, nobody's commenting, and I'm like, well, am I what I'm doing is it not good enough? Or people don't like it anymore? I don't have any fans, and just relying on social media to be my everything, my confidence, it's a horrible thing. And I don't want to be stuck in that. So I created a new page kind of to just be connected with the people who really want to see my product, who may want to pay, who may want to stream it, and not people who are just watching me and going, next, but social media is definitely a tornado you can get caught in. And as a mother, as a woman, social media, a lot of people's confidence, it's based on social media. Do people like me? Do I look good? Do I need to look like this other girl who's got the 5,000 likes? Do I need to put this in my body, my butt, my face, my cheeks? Do I need to put the filter on every day to look like the filter? It's really got us warped. But so I do take breaks. Sometimes I'm like, F this, I'm logging off, I'm deactivating my page for a week, and you do feel refreshed when you are not looking at everybody else's life all day. So I try to balance it, put it away, and bring it out when I need it.
That's awesome.
But I need a lot. But yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So I have two more questions, and so after this, audience, we're going to move out there because this is wonderful rap cipher that's going to take place. I don't want you to go far. We're going to wrap up with these ladies. We're going to go outside. So in the industry, I know this for a natural fact. Relationships are important. I am very proud to say that I've kept all of my relationships over the last 21 years from the music industry. They're intact. I don't ask people for nothing. I only tap them if I need them. But how important is it in your field of work with relationships as it relates to this industry?
I would say it's huge. And the one thing I do regret is not making enough relationships. Like I can be a very shy and maybe come off as standoffish. And just like in that question you asked, I'm used to like going in a room with a bunch of men and kind of like feeling like I need to hide. So networking and building relationships can get confusing as a woman, especially when you're trying to build with men. You don't know if they're trying to flirt with you. You think you're giving your number and email to connect, and they're asking you on dates and send pictures. It's a very sticky territory that kind of made me be like, I don't want to connect with anybody. Like, I just want to show up and go home. So now I'm really connecting with people when I go out to events. After this, if you guys want to meet me outside, we exchange Instagrams. I'm always open to it. But for a while, I was really scared to connect with people because I did not want to deal with what comes with afterwards. And you don't, you're meeting new people. You don't know what they're about. Some people want to stick to you, connect to you, keep calling you, keep texting you all day. It can be a very sticky situation, but I'm open to it. And I think it's very important to network and connect with people.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Relationships are very important. I think it's more important how you use those relationships. You have people who will misuse them. But it's always great when you can have somebody say your name in a room that you're not in just because of a relationship you've built with them. I know for myself, I've had like a lot of opportunities given to me or, offered to me based off of relationships that I have with people. And they see how I work with them. And so they're like, oh yeah, you should work with her. Or, this is somebody I know that would be good for this. So it's everything. Networking is everything. But I would just say, just know what type of relationships that you're making. Know what type of relationships are being made with you. Like she said, you might have people who are only connecting to you because they want to be around you to see what you can do for them versus someone who's really trying to build rapport with you and have a healthy, genuine relationship. So you just got to, use your best judgment and just know relationships are important, but don't misuse them and don't let people misuse the relationships they make with you.
That's a word. Yeah, I really think I've said this to my friends before. I think I kind of suck at relationships. because of what Nye said with working in hip hop and being fully in it, it's hard finding people that really want to, that really have your best interests at heart, that really want to protect your light and not misuse your light. Like you said, especially as a woman, where they feel like you need me in order to be great. Now, there are people out there that really do see your light and want to cherish it and want to see you grow. I say continue to nourish those relationships. It's definitely hard as a woman to navigate hip hop, but there's people out there that do believe in you, that do want to see you win, but it really has to start with yourself. And I think once you walk into these rooms and you want to network, you have to walk into that room with integrity and respect and demand all of those things, so that way they would treat you as such. Know what it is you want and know the type of relationships that you want to foster, and just continue to nourish that, because it's really, really hard in hip hop. And again, shout out to people like Daytwan and Vibe Magazine, that I feel is one of the men in the industries that do look out for us. And shout out to Pat, a woman in the industry that really looked out for me, that's constantly advocating for me. So if you have people like that in your corner, do not misuse their help. Continue to build with them, continue to look out for them. And I feel like those people will continue to look out for you. But if you continue to do the work, that's one thing they can't deny. So your room, your name will be mentioned in those rooms, but just continue to do the work.
That's awesome. All right. That's a good word. All right. Final question. What's next? What can we expect from you all?
Next for me, I'm in a huge process of like a rebrand. My original stage name is Naima Supreme, and I really, for a long time, have been wanting to start fresh. So I cut that down to Nye, NYE, $, the $ is silent. If you want to know the spelling. But my name, I've accomplished a lot of things within the last 10 years, and some of them are great and some of them leave me stuck in that last 10 years. And I still have so much to offer for what's coming next. And I just want to rebrand. There's certain artists who I've seen rebrand, maybe 2 Chainz. Of course, Easy and Diddy, it's pretty easy for them to rebrand the name, but I just want something new for myself in the same range, in the same, as an artist, as a producer, as a mother. I'm a new person now, so I just want to represent myself newly, and I'm excited about that. I am releasing new music. I always say that, but I'm really releasing new music. I've gotten my balance back from being a mother and an artist. Artist is a hard thing to get back to, but look out for new music from me. Follow my new Instagram page, NYE $DOLLARSIGN. You guys can connect with me outside. I'm a Queens girl. You might catch me outside. Be like, "Naima, that's you." I'll be like, "No, it's not me." But I'm always around and always want to connect. And it was an honor to speak to you guys today. I'm always at your college. I was in a fashion show program here about maybe 10 years ago. So I'm a CUNY graduate also, went to Kingsborough. So,
Thank you. All right.
I will say whatever, God has for me this next, I'm excited about that. One thing I've learned to do is kind of just let things happen in a way. 'Cause, sometimes you make all these big plans and then it doesn't go as such. So I would just say, whatever's next for me, that's for me. I'm excited about that. But you guys can connect with me to Amber.Corinne, I believe, on Instagram. So I'll be out there as well. So I'm looking forward to talking to everybody.
What's next for me? Definitely Woman in Hip Hop podcast. Make sure y'all check it out. Again, Revolt did pick up the podcast, so you're gonna see more things with my partnership with them. I also have my Inside Hollywood. When I stopped doing red carpet, being a red carpet correspondent for Vibe.com, I created my own platform to pretty much extend that particular side of my career. So Inside Hollywood is it has some things coming up in the future, so stay tuned for that. What else? I have a book that I'm going to be finishing up called 48 Bars of Power. Shout out to 48 Bars. And what that book is about is broken up in 3 chapters and 16 sub-chapters in each one. 3 times 16, 48, hence the name. And it definitely is a play off of 48 laws of power. So it helps women in particular deal with 3 parts in life, and is self-esteem, love and relationships, and faith and spirituality. So I would give you guys each bar, like certain bars, and I would tell you guys a story of how that particular bar affected my life and how it helped me in each department. So, for instance, "Love Is Blind." It's a line, and well, that's a line in itself. Shout out to Eve, that was her song, which deals with domestic violence. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the video "Love Is Blind," and I experienced that. I experienced seeing my friend, get jumped on by her boyfriend, and me trying to intervene and help her. Next thing you know, she jumping on me. So I understand that domestic violence, and I believe this is a domestic violence month still that we're in. So if anybody is dealing with that, or dealing with self-esteem issues, or dealing with just staying steadfast in your faith and spirituality, there's different bars to help with that, and different stories in my life that I will share with you guys, and how those bars help me get through it. So look out for that book. And just to close it up, because we just talked about relationships and all that, I just want you guys to continue to keep going, continue to dream big, continue to, yes, meet people and network and all those things. And you're going to get 1,000 no's, but all you need is that one yes. You only need that one yes. I interviewed Amari Hardwick when he was on a press run for one of his many projects that he was a part of. And I kind of asked him the same thing, like, just about his journey. And he said, "Jazz, one thing somebody told me, it only takes one person with the right influence to say yes and change your life." He had many no's, but it just took that one yes. So don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about the comments. Don't worry about the response from the people. Just keep going, keep posting, even if it's one like. Trust me, somebody's paying attention, and you only need that one person to do it. And he will, or she will, say yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's give it up for this wonderful panel. Before we completely close it out, I want to give some of the York audience, students, an opportunity to ask a question. Are there any questions? We'll start with you.
It seems that historically, in the convert, there's been a great deal of, we know that there's been, screaming everybody, so.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, then let me elevate. We've seen historically in hip hop, there's been a great deal of beef where females are concerned. For example, we've had Little Kim and Little Kim and Foxy Brown. We also did for a while have Little Kim and Eve, Trina and Kaya, the queen of hip hop and soul, Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans. Even on the R&B side, SWV, and the battle with their members. What we discovered was oftentimes there were men involved in the back end. Kanye West was quoted as saying that Cardi B was an industry plant created to take down Nicki Minaj. Nicki had beef with almost everybody. And so I want to know, for the performer, for the media correspondent turned podcaster, turned a little bit of everything, and done well. And then also for the journalist, have you all experienced situations where you've been pit against other women? And how did you develop your discernment to see how that was happening, when that was happening, and if that was happening, and how did you handle it?
Okay, before we, I think we're gonna hire him to do the next, because he good. That's a whole segment. And because of time, that's a great question.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask one person to answer it, because we do have a cipher that is waiting for us. But that's an excellent question. And maybe we can continue that after we release the words. We can finish that question
make
and
it very
capture some of
quick,
that
Very
content.
quick. Thank you, James. And that's my friend James. Shout out to James. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And my family. I'll say this. This happened to me before. I did an interview with someone. I posted it. This man, like you said, is be men sometimes in the back end starting stuff. He comments under my interview and he tags another journalist. He goes, "Yeah, you should make your stuff like hers," under my post publicly. So, you know, I let him know. I said, well, I think she's doing amazing. I'm doing what I'm doing. And I blocked him. That was pretty much it. I just blocked him. But I have experienced that. And, you know, it's unfortunate that people would rather see you fight and be negative versus like us coming together. You know, so that's happened to me. And that's how I handled it. I just got rid of him. I blocked him. But to your point, there's always like a third party trying to start stuff between other people. It don't even be the two people who's beefing sometimes.
Thank you so much. Can we give our panel, please? So I think this is the most fantastic way for us to start our day celebrating hip hop at York College. We're going to move to the atrium to celebrate with the cipher. But what I want to say is please recognize these women one more time. They're going to be here for pictures. I want to remind people of my original comments. There's a couple of them. York is an anchor institution in Jamaica, Queens. We are here to educate the students of this community, and we are deeply invested in transforming lives. If you know somebody who needs to be in college, they need to be right here. I need you all's help. Help. Tell people that college transforms your life, for your family, for everybody. Please, please continue to help us, and please continue to come here. That Welcome Center is there at the front door via the courtesy of Speaker Adrienne Adams and her support. Please continue. Please continue. Thank you, Don Kelly, our foundation board member. Thank you, Miss Pat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all of you all. Please enjoy your day.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
So if you guys want to take pictures with the panelists. Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Oh, wait. I need to. I'm sorry, York Radio. I apologize. I have a list.